Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lords of the Night. With me, as always, your Lord of Punishment. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
And your Lord of Pennies is here as well. Say hello, Satsu.
What up, though?
And I am your Lord of Pain, the Ranting Monkey, and I have my wrong internet plugged in. So while I fix that, Scribbles, how you doing?
I am doing okay. I woke up ridiculously early this morning, even for me. Like, I usually wake up for work at 4 a.m., but for some reason today I decided to wake up at 3 a.m. and be wide awake, which made no sense. But I decided not to waste it, so I spent the first hour and a half or so doing laundry and cleaning up my apartment a bit because after much cancellation, supposedly, finally, I'm hanging out with my sister tomorrow, which was supposed to happen 3 weeks ago, but various things kept coming up and she kept standing me up, so to speak. And last time it was, she called 10 minutes before she was supposed to meet me to tell me that she wasn't coming. I was like, okay. And this was all supposed to be me taking her out for her birthday from like a month ago now. So yeah, I was like, okay. So I'm going to be ready to go tomorrow morning, as I was 2 weeks ago or whatever. But I won't be surprised if I'm all dressed up with no place to go by the time the morning's over with. But anyway, that's me. We'll talk about other stuff later. How are you, Satsu?
Pretty good. I've been chilling out most of the days. I slept today like monkey. Did the other day. For whatever reason, I woke up. We were up at like 7 a.m. with the little one, taking care of her, and then I fell asleep. I woke back up at like 1. I fell asleep again and woke back up at like 4. So I well rested, but then I cooked dinner and cleaned the kitchen, and now I'm tired again. So it's a good day.
Before I tell y'all how I've been doing, over on the Streamlabs, before the stream began, Tall Person said, "Happy International Rabbit Day." Thank you so much. And then Tall Person says, "Happy National Ghost Hunting Day, everybody." Again, thank you so much.
Wait. What was the first one?
International Rabbit Day. Did I say Hunting Day?
No, you said Rabbit Day.
Yeah.
I was just like, Rabbit Day and then Ghost Hunting Day. So are we hunting?
Oh, I'm not done.
Are we hunting ghost rabbits?
Hang on.
Oh.
Tall Person, thank you so much. Who says, "Happy National Strawberry Cream Pie Day, everybody."
Are we throwing strawberry cream pies at ghost rabbits?
And then he says, "Happy National Drink a Beer Day, everybody." Thank you again.
Okay, so drinking beer explains why we're throwing strawberry cream pies at ghost rabbits.
And finally, thank you, Tall Person, who says, "I'm not drunk. You all are drunk, especially that schmuck in the mirror." Thank you so much for those donations, sir. I appreciate it. And over here on the YouTubes, thank you, Cryptic, who says, "My dad's addicted to ladders. He gets high."
Oh, now that's just bad.
That sounds like a joke your fucking 5-year-old comes home and tells you.
Yeah.
5-year-old talking about how grandpa gets high. No, well, I see birthday, but I don't know whose birthday it is. But guys, I do want to point out, down in the description, Bloodwing dropped a video today and has a fundraiser going for his daughter who recently lost her husband. If you could donate to them instead of me today, I would really, really appreciate it. The link to the GoFundMe's in the description there. So I appreciate donations. Don't get me wrong. And of course, absolutely, if you want to, but consider donating there first. And before I get to me, Sinatra, how have you been doing, my friend?
What do you think? You can just send me a link and I'll show up like some sort of cheap fucking hooker?
You did?
You're here, slut.
That doesn't matter.
You
Kneel, bitch!
The point is that you think you can do that.
And it works.
Hello.
How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. What's going on, fellas?
Well, I am sick. These bastards finally got me sick. I went to sleep this morning after the morning show, and I only slept for a little bit, and I woke up with this cough, one of those burning ones in your lungs, and it's not going away. And so if I have to quiet myself for a while to cough today, I apologize. Please carry on without me as that happens, gentlemen. I'll be back as quick as I can. But otherwise, I had a decent day. I mean, I slept the whole day. How can you complain about that, right?
I don't know. Are you?
I don't know. It was as good a day as it can get when you're sleeping all day. I don't have pneumonia. It's just a little chest cold. Everybody in the house has had one. And the baby had it too, and I was kissing all over her when she was sick, so it's probably my fault. But she's so cute, I couldn't help it.
Yeah, you gotta kiss the kid.
She's got the chunkiest little cheeks, man.
Dude, I know exactly how you feel. 2 out of the 3 Sinatra children are fucking sick. One's got strep. This is all bad. Shelly's sick. I'm quarantined in the office. I'm beating anyone who tries to come in with a stick.
Oh, speaking of adorable babies, Squetus is she has finally figured out that she can smile, and she has been doing it a lot more often now.
Yay.
Aww.
It's she was sitting on the couch, taking a nap, like laying on the couch taking a nap right next to me, and she woke up, and I looked over at her, and she like had her hair, she was like twirling her fingers in her hair, and I'm like, "Hey, sweetie," and she just smiled at me, and I'm like, "Oh God, I'm gonna."
Oh.
Like, it's too cute and squishy's like, she don't smile at me ever. It's so funny.
Straight Sith Mail says it's fall. Of course, you're going to get sick kids because they're sick. Kids are disease carriers. That usually once they start school, they get to be the little disease carriers because they pick it up from everywhere. No, this was probably brought home from somebody's work and passed on to the child, and the child gave it to Grandpa.
And Grandpa's going to give it all to you.
Grandpa's just gonna keep it to himself in this room. I'm gonna make it my dungeon. Oh, sickness! It's Jay Reynolds' wife's birthday. Do we have a name there?
Wife's. I think it said Carrie or something. Oh, there you go.
Oh, thank you, Mash. It's Jay Reynolds' wife's birthday. He wants you to sing as obnoxious as possible. Her name is Carrie.
I don't know. When they tell us to sing obnoxious, I have this inclination to just do my best.
I apologize. I cannot be too obnoxious tonight. I'm having trouble talking. So
maybe just say it. Maybe just say it in your sick voice.
In your spoken word. James Earl Jones voice.
Yeah, there you go. Do your CNN voice.
But Carrie, we do try to
very white. Yeah.
To do this when you folks have those parents had sex without condom days. And we're glad you're born. And this one is for you. And a 1 and a 2.
Happy birthday to you.
Sounds kind of rapey.
Happy birthday to you.
Scribe, you wouldn't happen to be smelling somebody right now, would you?
Happy birthday, dear Carrie.
I'm choking on a big black cock.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Carrie. I hope you had a great one. And Snoot, that was like perfectly played, man.
That's why I muted myself. Like, is this the right one? Okay.
Oh, God. Too funny.
Okay, so with that, guys, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games, hit that like button and share. You know the deal. Scribbles, we got news, man.
Yeah, you should go to bed.
Oh, I can't. I got shit to do, man. So, what happened all in the news things today?
Oh, well, let's see.
Telling us.
Would it surprise you to know that none of the stories I've pulled up, so far as I know, I mean, the first one might, I don't know, but not overtly involve impeachment.
Wow.
I know. I mean, the first one might. It doesn't. The headline doesn't suggest, but who knows? Anyway, this is from CNN, of course. Requires 2 authors, Dana Bash and Pamela Brown, both who are blonde, by the way, if that matters. Mulvaney on shaky ground in wake of whistleblower fallout, sources say. Okay, maybe it's ostensibly about the impeachment. Acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney is on shaky ground in the wake of a bad week for President Trump, according to multiple sources with knowledge of discussions surrounding the whistleblower fallout.
That sounds like a long way around saying familiar with the matter.
They do have a wide variety of familiar with the matters. If they even do anything after familiar, because we've seen that a couple times, it just stops at familiar, period, which is...
That is like the most... What's the word for syllables? Syllabolic?
A multisyllabic?
Multisyllabic way of saying familiar with the matter.
Well, it's actually the multisyllabic way of saying unnamed source.
Right.
Yeah, unnamed, uncorroborated, anonymous, whatever. The sources say the president is not upset with Mulvaney for the White House releasing the summary of his July 25th call with Ukraine's leader or the whistleblower complaint because he had been convinced that it was necessary. What Trump and other aides are frustrated with, according to the sources, is that Mulvaney did not have a strategy for defending and explaining the contents of these documents as soon as they were publicly released, save for the fact that if you believe everybody who's been talking about this so far, all of this is entirely unprecedented. So why would he have a contingency plan for something that's never happened before?
Maybe you could see it coming. I don't know. I have a contingency plan for if the world ends, and we haven't seen that happen in our lifetime.
What's your contingency plan for that?
Go to my cousin's house out in the country.
Pick up his friend Satsu and then go over his cousin.
You're on the way, so maybe.
One of the sources says, that sounds reliable, it's not just the president, but also widespread frustration in the White House about the lack of a response plan to deal with the fallout after the release of the whistleblower complaint ignited more controversy surrounding the president. Didn't you just say that in the last paragraph?
Yes, I did.
The sources say Mulvaney... Sorry?
Got to get that word count.
Yeah, the sources say Mulvaney is taking the heat for that, which you've just explained in the whole previous 4 paragraphs. White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham said Saturday in a statement, quote, "This story is manufactured palace intrigue. Ooh. The fact is that President Trump and this administration have done nothing wrong," the statement continued. "Why would we need to implement a strategy to explain the contents of a document we willingly released? Sounds to me like more anonymous troublemakers working to stir the pot for their own selfish reasons," unquote. CNN then went on to explain those familiar with the matter weren't unnamed sources. No, I just added that, sorry. The feeling among some working to contain the controversy is that some aides who pushed for a response felt Mulvaney was getting in the way of allowing it. So, wait, Mulvaney didn't have a plan to deal with the fallout, but actually he was actively disallowing a response to the fallout.
That's retarded.
Am I under?
Well,
okay.
It makes sense. Just like cancel culture isn't real, but we need it in order to be progressive.
All right. Okay. The frustration over a lack of a response plan poured over into a series of meetings at the White House Friday between the president and top aides, including his personal counsel and White House lawyers, to figure out a strategy moving forward. Okay, I think they do that every day during a campaign, but what do I know? Sources caution that despite Mulvaney not being in a good place right now, the president may not be eager to fire Mulvaney anytime soon, given the amount of tumult, even for a White House used to that. So this entire article is glorified gossip.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting out of it.
Which is actually what the name of the stream is about. It wasn't even this article. I named this off the record. I saw a story earlier. 3 former White House employees who didn't want to be named. I'm like, can't any of you fuckers go on the record at this point?
I think that a lot of this anonymous sources who don't want to be named is just the journalist making shit up.
Well, that's the thing we don't know. We have to trust the journalist and or their editors and or whoever's in charge of them that this information actually comes from someone reliable. But they almost never give us anything to go on. Like three former White House, what'd you say, employees?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, 3 former flower arrangers at the White House said a thing. Oh, we can't say that. They're just former White House employees. You're like,
Well, that's the thing is, do they deserve trust?
No.
Do these
that's
people deserve
absolutely not.
any monicum of benefit of the doubt?
No. Nope. Not at all. Not at this point. I mean, you would think that after all of these false starts, like at the New York Times and CNN and all this sort of like, this could be the smoking gun, that they would say, okay, guys, we have to reveal a little bit more. We have to be more transparent about where we're getting our information, because otherwise we just look like idiots. No, they're not doing that. Or if you don't have somebody willing to go on the record, if there's, I mean, I understand that there is a need at times to keep the anonymity of a source. I completely understand that. There's complete utility and reason for that to be the case. But it's every single story, and it's even about stuff that is not necessarily actionable or has anything to do with anything like this. It's like, oh, some people are mad at Mulvaney in the White House. Let's make a 3-page article about how some people are annoyed with Mulvaney. Okay.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that, guys.
Do it.
Shearsay? Shearsay?
So say.
No, it's like Shearsay. Did I get it right that time?
Kaiser Soze!
Shearsay? I'm not. Oh, I always fuck up the end of it. I wrapped some fish in the New York Times, and now my fish smells like lies and innuendo. Thank you so much. You're not wrong.
Kaiser Soze.
Oh man. Yeah, it's getting to the point that I'm actually more surprised when they use names in stories. When they use an actual source. Saoirse, is that what it is? They'll yell at me a second and let me know. And I told them I'm so sorry. I always fuck it up. I'm so sorry. All right.
Anyway, yeah. So it's your basic CNN article, but but truth be told, that was not just one I pulled out of anywhere. That was the top story on CNN.com.
Saoirse, I said that, didn't I?
Somewhere in there, I think. It's a
I didn't say sore nothing. That was Sinatra.
Sword nothing.
I said Soze.
Kaiser Soze. All right. Yeah. The other story that I've seen all over the place, and this is tragic. The man accused of killing Texas County's first Sikh deputy was wanted on parole violation. A man accused of shooting and killing a pioneering Texas sheriff's deputy during a traffic stop was wanted at the time, and that may help explain why the shooting happened, authorities say. Excuse me. Robert Solis, 47, was arrested Friday shortly after police say he killed Deputy Sandeep Dalawal, an observant Sikh who years ago gained national attention when he got permission to wear a turban as part of his Harris County Sheriff's Office uniform. Okay. Dalawal had just stopped Solis for a traffic violation and walking back to his patrol car Friday afternoon when he was shot twice in the back, once in the back of the head. At the time of the traffic stop, Solis was wanted on a parole warrant, Sheriff Ed Gonzalez said on Twitter. Authorities haven't said what Solis allegedly did to have violated his parole. Solis has been out of prison on parole since 2014, 12 years after he was convicted in Harris County of aggravated kidnapping and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Quote, Solis probably knew he was going back to jail and did not want to go back to jail, Sheriff's Major Mike Lee said Friday. Sounds like the kind of logic I would expect from someone like that.
Oh, random. Now they are seeking a wanted man.
Solis is charged with capital murder. A judge ordered Solis held without bond at a probable cause hearing Saturday morning. His next court appearance is scheduled for Monday.
Where was this at?
Harris County, Texas.
Bye, dude.
Yeah, no, he's in deep shit. I mean, he's already in deep shit, but he's in deep shit now. And apparently there's dash cam video of this incident. I doubt that'll ever be released to the public, but who knows?
Oh, man. Good luck with that injection, man. I hear it stings a bit.
All right. boy. All right. My first thought when I read this part of that story was, is this a sovereign citizen guy? And they're like, no, it's a parole violator. Like, oh, okay, never mind.
That just reminds me of Ron White. If you come to my state and kill someone, we'll kill you back. And that's
There's that
Texas.
too.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, so the other day, or was it yesterday? I can't remember now. There was the baby in the backseat of a car who got their hands on fentanyl while the kid's parents were sleeping in the front seat.
Jesus.
Here's a new one. Jeez. Oregon woman charged with serving bean dip that had something in it. What do you guys think was in the bean dip?
Pot.
Needles, Satsu.
Heroin.
Close. Meth. An Oregon woman is under arrest after police say she shared bean dip with an extra ingredient, methamphetamine. Cassandra Medina Hernandez gave some of the meth-laced dip to a fellow employee in the deli of a grocery store where she worked, according to a news release from the Marion County Sheriff's Office. The coworker began to feel ill, went to the hospital, and was told the dip might have been contaminated with meth, deputies said. At least one other employee might have eaten some of the dip, deputies said, but they don't think any customers did. Medina Hernandez was charged with unlawful delivery of methamphetamine, recklessly endangering another person, and causing another person to ingest a controlled substance. No information on what she's been charged with, or not, whether she's on bond or whether she got an attorney. Yeah,
you got your meth in my bean dip. You got my bean dip in your meth. New from Reese's. Anyway, might have been. You bitch, you know. Might have been.
It might have been in the bean dip. Now, just don't have the guacamole.
Right? Yeah, you don't know what's it.
The guacamole has AIDS in it.
The guacamole is also cursed. That's bad. Okay. Okay, and the last one I've got, kind of a follow-up to a story we talked about last night, and I think the night before. Can you imagine a friendly puff piece about Aaron Calvin?
No, not at this point.
Well, did you know that Aaron Calvin, prior to being at the Des Moines Register, worked for BuzzFeed?
No.
What a shock.
Can you imagine what news outlet has given him this friendly puff piece?
Huh.
CNN.
BuzzFeed.
Oh.
Oh, well, but practically the same thing, but you're close. Okay, so I'll just read some. I'll try to find the highlights of this because it goes on for a little bit. Restating the whole story that we already kind of know. The headline is, the reporter fired in the Bush Light Guys scandal said he feels abandoned by the Des Moines Register. Quote, I still, in a lot of ways, support the Des Moines Register. See? You dirty rat. Fired reporter Aaron Calvin told BuzzFeed News, quote, I just wish they had believed in me, unquote.
Like you believed in King?
Let's see. Okay. The Des Moines Register reporter fired in the wake of a scandal involving offensive tweets posted by a viral star he interviewed and then his own, broke his silence Friday, telling BuzzFeed News he had been abandoned by the newspaper after following standard editorial practice by performing a social media search on the person he was profiling. No, that's not why you were fired. And that's
fired because someone did it back.
Yeah, it's not that you did. Okay, I want to clarify something. Doing a social media search on the guy, okay. Doing a social media search on the guy and dredging up 8-year-old tweets that have absolutely nothing to do with the guy as he is today, has absolutely nothing to do with his actions or his benefit or his charity work, and you plug them in there. Only 2, by the way. You know, you didn't bring up any other tweets. You didn't ask him about anything else that came out about his tweets in 8 years. No, you did a keyword search on his Twitter account to find things that you found offensive, to try to denigrate this guy's character in the midst of him doing a total and pure good thing. Okay, that's my commentary, but I'll continue. Calvin, 27, was dismissed by the Iowa newspaper Thursday evening following criticism online in the wake of his article about 24-year-old casino security worker Carson King. And then they go into the story about Carson King and his little adventure and all that.
So far, and maybe you've just kind of glossed over, but I'm just saying, so far I haven't seen anything about him getting in trouble for what he tweeted at the same time King had done his.
Oh, well, it's we're getting there.
Buried way down after the puffy.
Yes.
All right.
Let's see. In writing his profile, Calvin said he decided to include just a, quote, brief mention of these tweets and his apology, King's apology, at the bottom of this profile after the glowing synopsis of his charity, unquote. The reporter said he felt an obligation to share the information he'd uncovered with the public, but thought he did so in a, quote, thoughtful, unquote, way that showed the tweets no longer showed King's worldview.
You a lying son, bitch.
He also maintained he did this with the full blessing and awareness of his senior editors. Now, that I believe.
That I believe, yeah.
Quote, throughout this entire process of the discovery and inclusion of the tweets, the editor knew, the editorial board knew, and the executive editor knew how I'd included them and handled them for the article, and as far as I knew, approved of that, he said. That I do believe.
That's before they found out what you wrote, dickhead.
Yeah, but that also makes them completely culpable in trying to destroy this guy and bringing up stuff that is absolutely irrelevant.
Absolutely. That is still on their heads as well.
On Tuesday night, before the profile was published, King held a press conference to apologize for the tweets, which he said had been found by a reporter. He said he wrote the post when he was a high school sophomore and had been making reference to the show Tosh.0. Quote, in rereading it today, 8 years later, I see it was an attempt at humor that was offensive and hurtful, he continued. Quote, I'm embarrassed and stunned to reflect on what I thought was funny when I was 16 years old. I want to sincerely apologize. Now, as far as I'm concerned, he didn't have anything to apologize for, but there you go. Then Anheuser-Busch cut ties with the guy over the tweets because Anheuser-Busch is just the height of moral authority or something.
Yeah, nothing like moral authority and drinking heavily. Real quick, Jay Reynolds, thank you. Donated to Bloodwing 2. This is for the song for my wife and my daughters earlier this month. Thank you so much, sir.
Let's see. But any media ethics debate about the newsworthiness of tweets written by someone when they were a teenager was soon swept aside by a tidal wave of harassment, doxing, and death threats Calvin received.
Back it up, back it up, back it up.
Yes.
That is after what we know about what this asshole did.
No. This is before the tweets that he did came out. This is after So this is before Calvin's tweets were uncovered. But after the apology came out and the reporter and all that stuff. So this is in the in between space. At least by the chronology they're presenting.
Sure. No, I get by the chronology they're presenting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Soon, influential right-wing media figures, yes, it was only right-wing media figures, began circulating screenshots of Calvin's own past offensive tweets that had been uncovered. In posts dating back to 2010, gee, okay, 9 years. I guess that's just too far back. Gosh, Calvin had used gay as a pejorative, written fuck all cops, and spelled out the word niggas with no hard R twice when he was quoting others, including a Kanye West lyric. Quote, now that gay marriage is legal, he wrote in one 2012 tweet, I'm totally going to marry a horse.
This is whitewashing is what this is.
Okay, so let me skip down a bit here. On Thursday, while he was speaking to police about the death threats, Calvin said he got a call from Gannett representatives. Gannett's the newspaper owner. Quote, they told me they were going to offer me an option, that I could resign or I could be fired with no severance. It was really a semantic difference, I guess, so I chose to be fired. In her op-ed, executive editor Hunter, or what's her name? What's her first name? I forget. Carol Hunter, wrote that they, quote, took appropriate action because there is nothing more important in journalism than having readers' trust. Let's see. Okay. Down to the very bottom of this. Calvin said he's still afraid to go out in public and is still staying at his friend's house. He isn't sure what he will do next, but he hopes he can keep reporting. Quote, I'm just taking it day by day, he said. I feel like I'm a good writer and a good reporter, and I was just doing my job to the best of my ability. I was just following orders. Calvin said he also still deeply believes in the necessity of local journalism. Quote, frankly, it's really disappointing to me to be abandoned by my former employer, he said. I still, in a lot of ways, support the Register. I just wish they had believed in me.
Real quick, Snubber, thank you. Live by the sword, die by the itch. And PH, thank you. If you see his picture, he looks like a soy boy. I haven't seen him yet. If he thought it was so important, and this is from when they first came out and defended his nonsense with that line, if he thought it was so important to include that stuff about Carson King's past, why did he not include his own in that same article? By the way, you're reading this from somebody who has dropped N-bombs on Twitter before. Oh, apparently that's not important to the story.
No. And out of every tweet that guy has ever sent since he's ever had a Twitter account, you found two, just those two to bring up. Nothing else, and just only those that fall into a very specific category of quote-unquote offensive stuff. That is irrelevant now, irrelevant to the story, does not matter, with no other reason than to impugn that guy's character. And you call that journalism. That's not journalism. That's just being a douche nozzle.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Anyway, that's all the stories that I had.
But he's a victim, guy, so we got to...
Yeah, he's the victim. Yeah.
Look, man, he was just trying to tell people about how that guy doing a nice thing said something bad when he was a teenager.
Yeah.
I feel like we all need to know that. It's part of normal journalistic practice. Isn't that the scariest part of that whole fucking thing?
Yeah.
It's just what we normally do.
Yeah, we try to slander everyone we see doing good things.
Indeed.
Like, oh, okay.
Well, it's not just that. It's and Matt Christensen put a really good video out today about this whole thing, and he pointed out it's like, there's relevance and truth, but sometimes these two things don't necessarily have to be at the same place at the same time. It's like you can have something that's relevant and true, but you don't have to necessarily find something that's true and make it relevant.
Yeah.
Just anyway.
Yeah, what you pulled out of his past had nothing to do with what he was doing. It was a dickish thing to do, and go fuck yourself.
From 8 years ago, I mean, is there a statute of limitations on saying a couple of stupid things that are entirely unconnected to the present? Entirely. I mean, if you had to go back to 8 years ago to find something and you saw nothing since then, can you give the guy a little bit of the benefit of the doubt that maybe it was just a one-off thing, or maybe he was just joking and it's not a pattern of behavior that you have to bring up, even if it was relevant somehow?
Well, you can see how important it is, because in this story, as far back as 2010, when they're talking about Calvin, they they put an extra 2 years on, though, even though the latest one where he dropped the N-bomb was in 2012.
Oh my God.
Snubber, thank you. Also, learn to code. Indeed.
Yeah,
I hope you know how to code, Aaron. Dick. All right. With that, guys, that brings us to MSS News Time. If there's a story you'd like us... Hang on. Somebody start that.
Okay. Well, any guys, if there's a news story you'd like us to cover on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSSNews. Can't promise we'll get to them all, and that's probably because I'm long-winded.
And because Monkey is malfunctioning.
Yeah, well, say la vie.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right. This one comes from Frosted Glass, who has tagged this with common sense white woman reform. So let's see what we've got here. This comes from Zora.medium.com. Medium being one of those umbrella blog organizations, kind of like Gizmodo. When feminism dovetails with white supremacy. I've done a couple of videos on the evils of white feminists and how feminism is inherently racist. Because feminism obviously is racist. This comes from October 9th, 2018. So a little old, Frosted, but just for the heck of it, I'll read a little bit. Are we truly equal if there is a pecking order of privilege? I don't know. Tell us. White feminism. Simply using the term rankles. White people don't like being called white. It's taken as a threat that they might suffer the fate of the other one day. Whiteness is meant to confer a kind of invisibility. It is meant to mask power and privilege it has granted itself. It is meant to elide and obfuscate. It is meant to place the white person above being questioned. Whiteness is a construct. That doesn't mean it isn't real. Whiteness confers power. Femaleness, I'll repeat, does not. Power is the enemy of equality, and the fork in the road where we are forced to choose between the two is where... Wait, try that again. And the fork in the road is where we are forced to choose between the two is where feminism and white supremacy combine into something noxious white feminism.
Wait. This could literally be attached to every progressive movement today because all of them want power. And in the pursuit of power, all of them end up corrupt and turning into the same type of people that they're talking against. So this might actually be a valid article.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember what was it? There was a video I found about Black Lives Matter, and I started watching it. And it wasn't until halfway through the video where the person on the podium started mentioning things that were soon to happen. There was soon to be a march about, Trayvon Martin or something. I was like, soon to be. And then I found out that the video itself was from like 3 years back, but it was posted like in the present. And yet, up until that point, nothing of that what that person was saying sounded any different than what I was hearing today, even though it was like 3 or 4 years old at that time. Things never change. I'll read the next paragraph.
Hold on, Griffin. Thank you. Level 50 Amara achieved. Who should I play next?
I'll be right back, guys.
Play Flack. Flack is fun. I just started playing with Zane.
Zane has been fun so far. What I've played, I had a lot of fun with Mo. So they're all good. Have fun. Just grab one and go. I'm sorry. You said you were going to read the next paragraph? Hello?
Did we lose Scribe? I think we lost Scribe.
All right. Hang on. I'm going to try this, y'all. See if I can find the story. And we have seen this before. Yeah. The idea that, where the hell is my MSS?
Oh, hello.
There you are.
Are you back now?
I was talking the whole time. I could hear you just fine the whole time. I don't know what the hell happened.
Oh,
yeah, we couldn't hear you at all.
You were dead.
Great. All right. Well, I'll read this one last paragraph and then I'll move on because it's highlighted in the actual article. White feminists do not want equality. They want power. Specifically, they want the same privileges and immunities as white men.
Yeah.
Their struggle is about climbing to the top rung of the oppressor class. It's why smashing the glass ceiling is so central to the narrative. There is room for only so many people at the top, though, and widening the applicant pool is a bad strategy. The result? White feminists tell on themselves whenever race comes up.
Yeah. Oh, dude, this is some next level shit right here.
I'll put the link in the chat in case people want to get enlightened themselves in their free time. Okay, moving on. We talked about that one the other day. This one comes from Quinn Harrison. Speaking of ghost rabbits, troopers rescue rabbit from Las Vegas highway during rush hour.
Hold that thought. Lamented Guy, thank you so much. Says, hey, what did I miss? Thank you for the donation. Well, let's talk about rabbits.
Let's see. I assume that's Sinatra's gain getting rebalanced again.
Yeah.
You've heard of a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat. How about a trooper pulling a rabbit out of rush hour?
What?
I didn't know that Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker had a rabbit.
Oh, now you know.
Get it? You get? Never mind. Nevada Highway Patrol says, Jesus Christ, that scared the fuck out. I'm not used to soundboard sound effects here, so if I hear something that isn't somebody talking, I assume something horrible has just happened. Nevada Highway Patrol said Wednesday they got calls about a bunny hopping around the center median of US 95 at Charleston Boulevard. 2 troopers responded and were able to catch the rabbit after a short foot pursuit. Was it a rabbit's foot pursuit? NHP says the little hopper was relocated to a local park, where he promptly ran out into traffic and was squished. Nice. I added that last part. But there's pictures of them like having the rabbit crawling around on their shoulder, and I'm just like, you understand that it's effectively a wild animal that could be carrying disease, don't you? Okay. Anyway, moving on. That is a video. I can't do that one. Okay, no, I already did that. Okay, this one comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. Unidentified woman found dead inside burning portable toilet in St. Augustine.
Bruh.
Now, that's a horrible way to die.
Oh, wow.
St. Johns County Sheriff's Office detectives and State Fire Marshal's Office are investigating the discovery of a dead woman inside a burning porta potty early Saturday morning in St. Augustine. A St. Johns County firefighter, discovered the body of an unidentified woman. Yeah, you already told us that. The victim was too badly burned for immediate identification. However, St. Johns County Sheriff's Office detectives believe the victim was a white woman. Detectives are asking the public for help in identifying her and determining the circumstances of her death. Quote, at this time, we have not received a missing persons report that may coincide with this incident. We are asking anyone who may have a family member or friend who has not been heard from and may be missing to contact the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office and ask for the Major Crimes Unit. Mulligan said the body was taken to the medical examiner's office for an autopsy and potential identification. The autopsy is expected to be performed Monday. Yeah.
Somebody said, what a crappy way to go. Thank you, Cryptic. Satellite radio crapped out. Dead serious.
You did that one already, Cryptic.
You did that one already, dude. Yeah.
That's right. I like it, and he can donate to tell me the same joke a second time.
There were several possible scenarios for how the death happened. Detectives will explore all possibilities. Quote, a person could have gone in there and the methane gas could have ignited somehow. It might have been a suicide or something more nefarious. We just don't know at this juncture. Wouldn't that suck if it's like I'm sitting on the crapper, light up a cigarette, boom, dead?
Well, you're in a porta potty. You should know not to light a cigarette in there.
Well, people doing stupid things in Florida.
Angry Illinoisan, thank you. Gives new meaning to holy shit.
Oh.
Thank you so much. Yeah, what a... I don't like going in those things anyway. Dying in one is like the worst. The worst.
What is this? Okay. This one comes from Massive Dynamics. Reality TV star says underage boy she had sex with was, quote, like a stripper, not a victim.
What?
This is from March. Now, first, this is from March 23rd, 2019. So it's not new, but I don't remember talking about this one. So we'll cover a little bit of it. Quote, I've been portrayed as this fat old predator rather than actually a quite sexy young lassie who had consensual sex with somebody 1 week from his 16th birthday, unquote.
That's rape.
So a 15-year-old.
In a shocking interview with a British tabloid this week, the 38-year-old winner of a UK reality television show defended having sex with a former friend's 15-year-old son by saying the underage schoolboy was, quote, no victim, and comparing him to, quote, a stripper in his enthusiasm for their dalliance.
15-year-olds like to fuck.
Lucy Hughey, Haugey, okay, told Metro that even though having sex with the boy was, quote, illegal and, quote, wrong, she is not a pedophile and the boy is not a victim. The former contestant on Channel 4's Come Dine With Me, who avoided jail time for the incident after a court instead ordered her in 2017 to register as a sex offender and perform community service, said the boy's mother, quote, coached him, unquote, into portraying her as an abuser, a label she vehemently rejects. It doesn't matter what coaching occurred. You raped a child.
A child stripper.
No, sorry, a child enthusiastic 15-year-old stripper. Okay,
Good
anyway.
God.
Go away. You should community service. Oh, fuck off. Okay, this one comes from Cynical Kathy. French MPs approve in vitro fertilization treatment for lesbians and single women. Okay. French MPs have approved a bill to legalize medical-assisted pregnancies for lesbians and single women and allow two, quote-unquote, mothers to feature on a child's birth certificate. The hotly debated law has stoked opposition from the Catholic Church and conservatives who warn it could create a generation of, quote, fatherless children. To loud applause, the National Assembly passed the draft law by 55 votes to 17. It must now pass through the majority right-wing Senate. I wonder. Under current French law, only heterosexual couples have the right to use medically assisted procreation methods, such as in vitro fertilization. Lesbians and single women often travel over the border to Belgium or Spain to fertility clinics, paying thousands of euros for treatment, a situation they say is unfair. I don't know. It's not a big deal over here, so I don't know.
I was trying to find more information about our pedo from the last story. And the next thing that I can find about it is some pedo vigilante kicked the shit out of her in a bar.
Okay.
Female pedo vigilante, by the way. Somebody who doesn't like the fact she got away with being a pedo in August kicked the shit out of her. She turned around slowly and said, I fucking know you. You're a fucking pedo. And then got right up on her and started beating the hell out of her. Headbutted her, gave her 2 black eyes, ripped a piece of her scalp out. Yeah.
Jesus
The
Christ.
girl really don't like pedophiles. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there. I just, like, what happened to her otherwise? Yeah, apparently nothing.
And that's the rest of the
rest
story.
of the story.
Let's see. This one comes from Shrouded Angel. Come on. Bungling gunman's murder plot thwarted as he trips when pulling trigger.
Oops.
Okay. A bungling gunman murder plot is believed to have been thwarted after he tripped when pulling the trigger. Police have described the targeted attack in Greater Manchester last night as shocking and said it's only by, quote, sheer good fortune that no one was injured, unquote. The suspect was seen jumping out the passenger side of a blue Audi before taking aim at 3 men who were standing outside of a pub. But according to a witness, he lost his footing on the curb moments before discharging the firearm, described as a handgun. The bullet missed the trio and instead hit a window of the Hare and Hounds in Ashton-under-Lyne. I guess that's the pub, the Hare and Hounds, but the town's called Ashton-under-Lyne.
I thought guns were illegal in the UK. How are they doing this?
I don't know. One man ran inside the pub and the other 2 fled for their lives from the scene. The gunmen pursued the fleeing men down the road and further shots were fired. The suspect then got back in the Audi, which was being driven by an accomplice who drove off. There were no reports of injuries. A crime scene remains in place outside the pub while further inquiries are carried out. Let's see, are they say anything about whether or not they got a lead? Nope, they're still looking for the guys apparently. So there you go.
All right.
What's next? Okay. All right, I don't know what this is. This one comes from Jay Reynolds. County rivalry sparks vandalism and damage. Okay. A rivalry between 2 Jackson County high schools led to vandalism and property damage in both communities today. 4 vehicles in a parking lot on the south side of Brownston Brownstown Central High School were damaged, and someone painted the railroad underpass on Community Drive near Seymour High School with the words "Go Braves" in red and black, Brownstown's colors. There also was an old vehicle parked in the SHS lawn as part of the school's homecoming activities that was tagged "Go Braves." Brownstone, I don't know. School resource officer Samuel Hughes said he responded to the initial report of damage to vehicles at the high school at 12. Okay, it's pranks. It's damage, it's defacing, but two rival schools pulling pranks on each other. Yeah, gosh.
My high school did that all the time.
Yeah. Okay. As long as nobody's getting hurt, I mean, somebody's going to have to pay for it and all that kind of stuff. And if you find them, yeah, they have to be, consequences. But anyway.
Thank you, Cryptic, who says JFK was my favorite president. He was open-minded. Still is.
What? All right. This one comes from Sora Luna. I've got to click on the thing and the stuff, and it'll come up, right? Thieves steal 50,000 apples from an Indiana orchard.
Damn.
Why? I mean, there's a shelf life on whether or not those things are going to be valuable, and probably nobody will. Anyway, a few bad apples stole 50,000 good ones from an orchard in LaPorte County, Indiana. John and Robin Drummond, owners of Williams Orchard, reported to the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office last Saturday that thieves had stolen the apples from an acre of trees. "I was floored," John Drummond told CNN. "When someone comes in and commercially steals from you, it's like, whoa, that's a little disheartening. Almost every single apple from every single tree was completely wiped out," he said. "It was cleanly picked. I was like, oh my God, someone came in and stole these apples," unquote. The Drummonds recently purchased the orchard, which was established in the 1860s and even hosted a grand reopening on Labor Day weekend. They estimate the missing apples are worth $27,000. Quote, "Sadly, I don't have any insurance on it," said John Drummond. "I don't have theft insurance, and so I wasn't able to recoup any money. It was purely stolen out of our pockets," unquote. Well, that was a mistake, I guess. Although I suppose you don't really expect anybody to steal apples, but still.
Well, if you're entering it into it as a business kind of thing, you still do that. And no, that's not cool that it happened to them. And as for your shelf life thing, somebody said they're apple moonshine. Not even apple moonshine. Apple cider has a lot longer shelf life, and it's about that time of year too.
That's true. "It was probably an insider job," said John Drummond. "Someone knew this orchard really well. They knew where to go, the portion of the orchard where they couldn't be seen," unquote. He believes the missing apples might be used to make cider, there you go, or possibly sold through wholesalers or other distributors. Yeah, that really sucks, dude. Get insurance.
And I want to point this out too, and I know it's only tangentially related to that, but one day I was going through, it was GoFundMe or one of those sites, and it was amazing to me how many people had fundraising things up there because they'd lost their house in fires and stuff, and then say, "I didn't have insurance."
Yeah.
Oh, what?
If you have a house,
Yes.
make sure you have home insurance. I know it's an expense, but it's nothing compared to rebuying everything you own at your own expense. It's really not.
I'll do one more because I think we're at that time and I need a little break. This one comes from Mr. Nanopoli. Anti-racism event hosted by Edinburgh University bans white people from asking questions.
Yeah, I saw this.
The University of Edinburgh has been criticized for hosting an, quote, anti-racism, unquote, event in which white people were due to be banned from asking questions. The conference has been organized by the Resisting Whiteness Group, which opposes racism and describes itself as a QTPOC, Queer and Trans People of Color organization. There will be 2 quote-unquote safe spaces at the event, one of which white people will be barred from entering. The safe places are meant for those who feel, quote, overwhelmed / overstimulated or uncomfortable, unquote. A blurb for the, quote, conference, talks, and workshops at the city's Pleasance Theater, which aim to, quote, amplify the voices of people of color, says, quote, we will therefore not be giving the microphone to white people during the Q&As, not because we don't think white people have anything to offer to the discussion, but because we want to amplify the voices of people of color.
Because we just hate them honkies. Sorry.
If you are a white person with a question, please share it with a member of the committee or our speakers after the panel discussion, unquote. Questions explored during the conference will include, quote, what does it mean to be a queer and or trans person of color in a society that frequently does not want to see us, unquote. However, Jane McCall, an anti-racism campaigner, said the event itself was, quote, blatantly racist, adding, quote, it sets back the battle to achieve equality and fairness by decades, all because of the actions of a tiny group of extremists whose perverse sense of logic has led them to belittle white people, not by who they are as individuals, but merely because of their skin color. Quote, imagine if this event was called Resisting Blackness and non-white people were told they could not ask questions nor access a room because they were the wrong color. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that.
And this actually goes why I was testifying with that story that you were reading earlier, Scribe, when they were explaining how this shit always ends up going full circle, and we end up in this position where the non-racists are just like, yeah, we're basically taking the place of the people we hate, essentially. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's all I'm good for.
All righty, guys. Thank you for your submissions. And with that, we're going to be moving on to YouTube time. And Satsu, what'd you work on today?
Nothing. I spent most of the day sleeping, like I said. I still got some videos that I'm sitting on that I just need to do the voiceovers for. But otherwise, nothing.
Okay. Sinatra, you want to go next? What you got going on the old YouTubes?
Well, I have the all weekend creepypasta stream running. I made a video to go live Monday, which Scribe gave me a little helping hand with, and that's about it.
All righty. I did a monkey in the morning, I think. Yeah. Oh, we had a big show today. We had 6 folks on, and it was a good conversation. You should go watch that one. Lots of fun. And then let's see, that moves us on to Scribbles. What did you work on?
Well, as Sinatra mentioned, I did a quick little contribution that he requested of me, and he made good use of the audio I sent. So I'm looking forward to that. And I was tinkering with a video today, one that I've been working on a little bit here and there. It actually involves a school in monkey country of Michigan. And I might have it done tomorrow. I'll see about that.
Saying that if I were you.
What do you mean?
Monkey country in Michigan?
Yeah. In the place where Ranting Monkey lives, or thereabouts.
Yeah, I know that. You know.
Yeah, I know. If anybody's auditing this in the future to destroy my charitable donations to children, just so you know, there's the context if you have to have it. And you don't.
Who are you kidding? They're not going to use this.
I know. Nobody cares about me. It's fine. Aside from that, I was on Monkey in the Morning with Monkey and talked about stuff for a bit while I was waiting for my laundry to get done, which was exciting. So there you go. And I hadn't talked to Pat in a while, so that was nice. And hadn't talked to, I think Hammer was there too, and I hadn't talked to him in a while. So that was cool. There you go.
Yeah, Polly was on there too, guys. Polly fell down and hurt himself.
Yeah, he's pulled a monkey.
Yeah, and he's in chat right now. So he says he's feeling better, still splitting headache. Dude got a concussion falling down the stairs, y'all. So everybody point and laugh at Polly, but also tell him you're glad he's okay.
Hey, Polly, you ought to look where you're walking.
I see what you did there. But yeah, glad Polly's okay. I'd heard he wasn't feeling well, and he finally came on the show. And like, yeah, I fell down the stairs and got a concussion. Like, Jesus, fuck, dude, learn to fall right, man.
You white dudes need to figure out how stairs work.
We just need to stay away. Oh wow.
Damn.
See, there's a joke there I can't make.
Oh.
Damn you and your black privilege. God damn it. All right. Let's move on to humpetry. Satsu, why don't you go first again?
I don't have any. Hold on. Oh, wait. There was some Facebook fucketry today. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I haven't been fucking around on Facebook in a while, but today I was just like, let's do some Facebook surfing, see what stupidity I can find today, and there was some. I just need to locate it. Give me 1 second.
Stupidity on Facebook? Never.
No thanks.
What is that?
Let's see here. There was one about the Greta girl. What the hell was her?
Thunberg.
Thunberg.
Oh wait, I can just go to my page here. All right, here we go. Somebody had put. Oh, she did another speech recently, and she said she thinks that it's what was the word she used? Not privilege, but
Entitlement.
well, it was like she's happy that grown men are losing their shit over her.
Okay.
You know, and that narrative came out again. It's just like these grown people picking on this poor defenseless kid. It's just a stupid kid. Why would you fucking? By the way, they have the solutions to all our world problems, and they know way more than we do. But they're just a kid. Like, how could you criticize them? And a lot of the comments in there were, I mean, just outrageous. Like, some people were like, a lot of people, shockingly enough, like I thought it was just Sarah Silverman, but apparently a lot of people have this messiah complex with her, where they're just like,
oh no, a lot of people do. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No.
it's freaky, man. Like, they're just like, God has returned to us, and he says that climate change is the thing that we should be focusing on right now. Just like, this is creepy, man. But yeah, there was a lot of that sentiment going on. And then I saw a post about the OK sign. I think CNN actually had put out something official where it's just like, here it is. The OK sign is now racist or whatever. And surfing through those comments was an experience. I'll tell you what. Fortunately, there was a lot of people like, this is really stupid. Like, I can't believe that this is a thing right now. But there were some other people who were just like, if I ever catch anybody using that sign again, I'm definitely going to be weary of them. And I'm just, okay, all right. Ocasio-Cortez, she uses it often. Every time she talks, she uses the OK sign. She can't fucking explain anything without fucking doing that hand gesture. She literally can't. If you watch any of her speaking or her talking points, she literally cannot speak without doing it. So I'm just,
It's like she's Italian when it comes to it. She needs to do it.
Yeah, so I'm just like, that's going to be you're going to have a very paranoid life if that's the case. Because, like I said, it is a universal hand sign used by cultures all over the fucking world. So good luck with that paranoia. Don't look in the mirror while you're talking. Holy shit. I don't know. Just more ridiculousness. And people on Twitter are super like doomsday, like this shit is fucking into the world. The white supremacists are taking over. And somebody had asked that I saw, it was pretty funny. Like, anybody in this chat who's crying that white supremacists are taking over, that, you know, that this is this epidemic and we're all doomed, like we're on the verge of death. At any moment you could be shot by a white supremacist. When's the last time you encountered a racist in real life? Like an actual full-blown gun-toting MAGA hat wearing racist. Have you ever seen one that wasn't on the news?
And it was so funny because there was a lot of people who actually came forward and was like, no, like I've never even physically seen a person in a MAGA hat before, like anywhere, my whole life, or since Trump became president, I've never physically seen one. And dude's like, think about that for a second.
But what about transactions? Whoops.
Microtransactions. There you go.
Now
Well,
that's
the defense of his microaggressions, by the way.
Microaggressions. Thank you. Chicago Mike, thank you. My favorite AOC speech started off with her saying, I think. Okay. Is that all you had there, Satsu?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Sinatra, you got any of the humpetry today?
let me pull up my twatter here. But kind of adding on to what Satsu said, one of my favorite comedians of all time is Patrice O'Neill. You guys all know this.
Sure.
And on the show, he used to say all the time on the O&A show, I never met a racist. I've never met a frothing at the mouth, has a tattoo on their eyelids that says fuck N-words. Never met them. I've met people called racist, and I don't think they were racist, but I've never met a real racist. A post from Orwell and Good that was it looks like a screenshot of an article. It says, women are struggling to find men who make as much money as they do. I did a video about this not too long ago. I think I called it something like men are poor, women are most affected.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, New York City. Did you see this, Monkey?
Which one?
The city of New York has made it illegal to threaten to call ICE as a discriminatory motive or to tell someone to go back to your country. It is now illegal to say or do that in New York City.
Yeah, there was a story we did where I think it was New York, a landlord there had to pay a fine and like mental distress, whatever, to a tenant who didn't pay their rent. And as a consequence, the house went into foreclosure or something because the landlord threatened to tell the undocumented residents that she would call ICE if they didn't pay their rent. And that was her using discriminatory whatever to threaten them, and therefore she had to pay a fine.
That is insane.
Yeah, living in your house that you rented out to them, refusing to pay rent, gets your house foreclosed, so you threaten to do something about it, and you will get fined for it for being a bigot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, the landlord's mistake was letting people who she knew or had to have some idea were undocumented live there in the first place. All the same, yeah, pretty dumb.
Yeah, and in those stories, I swear to God, like I see, like dude goes mad and fucking kills somebody because this scenario laid out here, and I'm just like, man, I don't support it, but god damn, like, yep, it sounds like a consequence of that whole fucking shit show you just explained to me.
There was a post. The guy has since protected his tweets. It was this dude in fuck. Do I still have it pulled up? Maybe. Please. No, damn it. It's this guy in a Joker makeup, and he was just. I cannot even remember what he said, but it was the cringiest thing. He was trying to be like the Heath Ledger Joker. He's like, and then he posted something that said, there's a screenshot of it. Hi, I'm the Joker, and I'm here to trigger all of the conservatives and Trump supporters and the racist, sexist, xenophobic, homophobic, cock-sucking bastards that represent the right. And trust me when I say it's fucking working.
Wait a minute. He used the cocksucking as an insult.
Transphobic, cock-sucking bastards.
He used cocksucking as a bad thing to do. Those cocksuckers. You mean like fucking gay people? You mean like them? Like, come on.
I retweeted it and I said something like, "Is this the Joker that people are so worried about during the movie?"
Oh god.
It was just the I'm reading his fucking handle. The cringiest thing I have ever seen. And it's like this fucking fat dude with makeup on and like thinning hair on the top of his head.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, his he protected his tweets after getting ratio to all shit. But the most disturbing part about it was it had like 1,000 likes. So there were 1,000 people who were like, you know what? This guy's doing a good thing.
Jeez.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that last bit was just me filling dead air because no one else was talking.
No, I was waiting for anybody who had something to say. All right, are you done?
Yeah.
Scribble.
I didn't do much to-
I've only really got one. Well, first off, there was this Photoshop sign going around outside of the theater saying that all single males would be searched before they were allowed to enter a theater, presumably about the Joker movie.
Mhm.
But it was a Photoshop sign where it said, for all bags and backpacks will be searched. And that was all. But somebody was trying to make, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, my finger's hovering over X to doubt. Yet this is the current year, so. But other than that, the only other thing that I saw today, if it will come up here, because apparently it just doesn't want to come up. God, Twitter's so difficult to find the thing you want to find when you want to find it.
That's why you retweet, man.
I did. It's just like, well,
And go
okay,
to
here
your
it is.
profile.
So Kamala Harris posted this today with a picture attached of the Time magazine cover of Christine Blasey Ford. And she says, a year ago, Dr. Ford risked everything and courageously forced our nation to reckon with an issue that has too often been kept in the dark. I still believe her. And I said, and from this proclamation of willfully blind faith, we are to take your prosecutorial experience and discretion as something that commends you to the presidency. Got it. And that's it.
All right, I don't really have much. I know there was something else I wanted to talk about. It slipped my mind, and I will find it. But I just saw this over on Twitter. Some dude named Kyle Flynn. I have no idea who he is. They said, not sure how a hooker sleeps well at night. Don't care. Hell will be yours.
The fuck?
That's kind of judgmental. I would imagine the pooling in their stomach helps, keep them grounded in bed. But
Oh, Jesus, monkey.
just let it happen. Stormy Daniels replied to this. And she replied, I'm a side sleeper. So is this Stormy admitting she's a hoe? Because he said hookers.
Yeah, he definitely said hookers. Yeah.
He didn't say strippers or dancers or even porn stars. He said hookers. Stormy, you got some splaining to do.
She just won a $480,000 judgment against the city of Columbus for wrongful arrest.
Oh, for that whole shit that went down at the strip club?
Yeah, she's got like $400,000 out of the deal.
Wow. While I'm looking for this other thing, I'll bring up something else. For those of you who are playing Borderlands 3, if you're playing with a friend and you're the person jumping into their game, make sure you jump out of their game before they leave, or bad shit can happen. Hey, Satsu.
Yes.
Everything in my bank is gone.
What?
It's gone. There's a bug that can happen in that game where if you jump into like we were doing to kill the boss last night, there were a couple of times you ended before I jumped out.
Right.
Yeah, well, that can erase the bank account. It also might be what happened to some of the weapons I can't find.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so if you're the one jumping in, make sure you jump out first. It's a good thing everything in my bank was all stuff like, okay, I'm just kind of keeping that for people who I'm going to level later.
Right.
Now I need to go collect those weapons again or something close to them. But yeah, gearbox, that might be something you want to fix.
It could be on purpose to prevent people from just jumping into people's games to level.
Yeah, it's a feature, not a bug, monkey.
Nah, that don't sound right.
That don't sound right at all to me. Shit. Okay, now I got to go to my history because I know there was something I wanted to talk about. Where the fuck is it? Where I honestly can't find it. It's not. I
See?
watched.
See?
Oh no, here it is. Shoe on Head today made a video over on her Brainlet channel. Talking about how Samantha Bee, y'all know
Yes.
Samantha Bee, right? Used to work for Jon Stewart. Somebody convinced her she was funny, and they gave her own TV show.
Yes.
Fire
What-
that person.
She put out a tweet asking Michelle Williamson to come on her show and end her candidacy. And it's such a cunt video, the way she does it, because she actually Marianne Williamson is the best person named Marianne Williamson is the best person named Marianne Williamson in the race today.
Oh my god.
It's like, oh, that's a dick move. Come on. But yeah, just begging her to come. And Shu's video is really short. It's only like 3 minutes, and she's just talking about this is like complete mean girl bullshit. And it really is. But what do you expect from Samantha Bee?
Yeah.
Isn't this the one who what was it she said about Ivanka?
Feckless cunt.
Oh yeah, fuck
Yes.
this cunt.
Yeah. Because you just don't like somebody. Yeah.
Also, Marianne Williamson, you don't need to ask her to drop out. It's just going to happen on its own. Why of all the people to try to satirize or take down or something, you go after the lowest of the lowest hanging fruit in the race right now?
Yeah, and she's not even making the debate stage, is she?
I don't believe so. No.
I'm not sure she's gotten more than the two that she needed in polls to get up on the first two debate stages.
Yeah.
Really lowbrow. I mean, it would be different if she was talking to Beto, because Beto has no chance anyway, but he's also, at least he's getting attention and he's on the stage and stuff. Yeah, why are you going after such as you said, low-hanging fruit? Also, guys, don't forget, please consider donating to Bloodwing's GoFundMe. It's in the description down below. It's for his daughter. Her husband recently died, and they need some help. And if you can help them out, please do so. Do you guys know who Danielle Cohn is?
No.
Not off the top of my head, no.
Danielle Cohn is a Instagram influencer / model / singer / YouTuber. Who a couple of years ago came onto the scene with a video. I forget the name of the song, but it has all the artistic brilliance of the song Friday by Rebecca Black.
Oh, so it's great, you mean?
It is. It's this auto-tune piece of shit. And at the time, it was like, this 13-year-old has come onto the stage, and this is her, and she's done a few songs since then, and she started Instagram modeling, wink wink, where she's showing off her body in what's the word I'm looking for here? Highly sexualized outfits, including basically bras and skimpy panties.
How old is she now?
Well, that's the question.
Oh.
Because she broke onto the scene 2 years ago when she was supposedly 13, which would make her.
Oh, no.
Oh.
A man claiming to be her father, who's in disputes with her mother because her mom's not holding up to the agreements and all that. Go figure. Has come out and released a birth certificate.
Uh-oh.
Shows she's actually 13 now.
Oh, what?
Oh.
Oh, yuck.
And she has a video on her channel like Touch Me or some crap like that on her YouTube channel, where she has her boyfriend blindfolded and touching her in various places. Now, I haven't gone to watch any of this because I watched Roaming's video on it, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And then she got to this. She's 13 now. I'm like, fuck, I'm not touching none of that. No. However, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of you fuckers need to be looking into this shit. That is disgusting.
I thought that was their stated goal, to protect minors.
Well, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. But mom claims that that document is fake. Like, well, then show them the real document. You don't have to show me. Show them. Because if this girl really is 13, yeah, there's a lot of the stuff she has up there that is beyond inappropriate. She has stuff up there that probably should get her mom put in jail. Because her mom is her manager and has actually appeared in her videos.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Her mom's a background dancer sometimes, y'all.
For real?
Oh, really?
Actually a dancer. That was a joke. She is in her music videos though. So she's in the backgrounds of her video. And yeah, that seems like something that you social media types should want to get in front of. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, first they have to raise some charity money, Monkey. Then it becomes relevant.
Sure. If this chick tries to raise money for a hospital, then somebody will ask about how old she actually is.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't watch much YouTube anymore. I've been trying to watch more and more, and this is the kind of shit that I find that stupid follows me wherever I go. Maybe the problem's me. I need to just tune out because the other one I saw, somebody sent this to us in relation to Sophane's not believing in cancel culture. It was Sargon talking about what happened with Aaron and Carson. The whole it's not GoFundMe. I forget what it was. Whatever, where they raised the money for the babies, the children. And he goes into it and he talks about the fact, you have people up here who use cancel culture is a good thing because it gets rid of these people, deplatforming them, takes away their audience. And then those same people will tell you it's not even a real thing.
Right.
Like you can't have it both ways. And Sargon goes into it a little bit. I think Sargon actually misses the point on a few of the things there, but at least he hits on some of the same points. I'm like, why does this shit find me everywhere I am? I just want to have a good time, y'all. I just want to have a good time. Is it worse than
no fun allowed?
Right.
Yes.
Is it worse than Desmond or Lactatia? I would say it's bad in the same kind of way. It's just slightly different. This one is actually sexualizing at one point an 11-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Anyhow, the last thing I wanted to talk about was this story I saw in over on the New York Post. For those of you watching me in the morning, you know the New York Post is my favorite news outlet, just because they do a lot of real news. They do a lot of silly news, and they absolutely hate the Squad.
That's true.
They do. They absolutely hate Ilhan Omar and AOC. And they make no bones about it either. They're just... But anyway, there's a story on page 6 today, or in page 6, about Eddie Murphy. Because Eddie Murphy has a new thing coming out. What's it called? What is it? A new Netflix film, Dolomite Is My Name.
Oh, yeah, the Dolomite film. That's right, yeah.
While legendary comedian Eddie Murphy isn't afraid of cancel culture, he does find much of his older material cringeworthy, according to an interview with the New York Times. I was a young guy possessing a broken heart, kind of an asshole, he admitted. And then they go on to actually, this is a very short article, but then they go back and they read something he said back in 1996. Because in 96, people gave him a bunch of shit for what he said in Raw.
Right.
And he said this: I deeply regret any pain all this has caused. I, just like the rest of the world, I am more educated about AIDS in 96 than I was in 81. I think it's unfair to make the words of a misinformed 21-year-old and apply them to informed 35-year-old man. I know how serious an issue AIDS is the world over. I know that AIDS isn't funny. It's 1996, and I'm a lot smarter about AIDS now. I feel like they missed part of what he said there. It's unfair to judge a 21-year-old man by the informed, or a 35-year-old man by the uninformed opinion of a 21-year-old, even when it's the same person.
Yeah. Things change. People can change their minds. This is what I don't. I mean, I don't get about the cancel culture stuff, and it's something that should be, you would think, applauded. If you can look back at some stupid shit you did 20 years ago, short of it being like a felony or something, and say, I've grown since then, I've changed my mind, I mean, whatever it is, if you've just improved yourself in some way, shape, or form, and you're no longer like that, you haven't done anything like that since then, that should be a point in your favor, not a scarlet letter for the rest of your existence.
And frankly, Raw is as funny today as it was back then. It's actually funnier if you know how AIDS is spread, because he tells the joke in there that your girlfriend will kiss a gay guy and then she come home with that gay on her, or with the AIDS on her lips. That's not how AIDS is spread, unless, you know, she had an open sore and he had one and they kissed for a long time. But I mean, it makes it a little bit funnier because it's like, this is an uninformed, stupid opinion about AIDS. But most of what he says in there is still very funny. But it's the way they do it in this story. Okay, because I just read you his apology. Now let me tell you what comes before it. Today, Murphy confessed that Raw is a bit much. My goodness. His earlier stand-up often delved into racial, gender, and homophobic stereotypes, including jokes about the AIDS epidemic. He now recognizes those jokes are ignorant, in addition to originally apologizing to the masses in '96. Now, his apology there has nothing to do with racial, gender, or even homophobic jokes. It was just the gay or the AIDS jokes he apologized for in '96.
Right.
But they throw them all together. Like, see, Eddie doesn't even like racial jokes. Eddie used to do the greatest racial jokes ever because he'd do them about everyone. Black, white, Puerto Rican. He spared no expense. He was egalitarian in his racist jokes.
I think Chris Rock was the best when it came to racism.
I always fall back to Don Rickles. Don Rickles covered everyone and everything, and it was great.
It's funny that you bring that up. I was actually watching some old crooner songs earlier, and one of them was the history of the blues. And Sammy Davis Jr. and Frank Sinatra are talking to each other, and Sammy turns to him and goes, "Why are you making me sing that bit? I thought it was separate but equal."
There you go.
Oh, that's great.
Nice.
The thing that, you know, we all just, I can name tons of comedians who are like that. I mean, Pryor was like that. Carlin was like that. There were tons of comedians back in the day joked about all races, including their own. Some of the worst stuff they would say would be about their own. And Chris Rock, one of his most true things I ever saw, at least at the time that I heard it, was, who were the most racist people in America? Old black men. And he, you know, goes on, you know, yeah, I married a white woman, but if the revolution ever comes, she's the first one to go. I knew people like that growing up.
Oh yeah,
yeah, they exist. They're as bad as
one about his difference between black people and niggas, because I was
there's that too.
Yes, there is absolutely 100% a difference.
And if Rock told those jokes today, he would get in trouble for pandering to white prejudice.
Yeah,
because we've decided, you know what, we got to get rid of all this shit, because you can't be funny anymore, because if you are, then obviously it's racist. They've literally gone back to what I bitched about so much from the 80s, the late 80s, PC culture of attacking jokes.
there's no such thing, Monkey. What are you talking about?
I know it doesn't exist. PC culture. That's, oh man.
Monkey, I don't know if you actually seen a lot of black comedians now. What they've transitioned to now, like, you can make jokes about black people, but they have to be endearing jokes. Like, if you're gonna make fun of something black people do, take something good, like something that's actually endearing or good that they do, and joke about it as if it's just like, oh, this is a thing that you guys do, but it's actually just a good thing. It's like, black people love to cook, man. They really know how to cook. Y'all be cooking y'all ass off, and it's just like. It sounds like he's making fun of them, but he's just complimenting them and making it sound like a joke.
Right.
You know, that's the shit that's okay now. You have to do it that way, or, you know, you can't say anything bad.
there's a great part of Dave Chappelle's new special. And if you guys pay attention, you can see that special was shot over several days.
Right.
Because the people in the audience change. When he goes into talking about Juicy Smollett, how do you say it?
Juicy Smollett.
Juicy Smollett, yeah. There's a woman. She's sitting right in front of him. She's in the front row all the way on the right. When he starts talking about Jesse, you should see the daggers she is shooting him. And then as they switch it, you see other people there who are laughing their ass off. But she is just mad. I know what you're talking about, man. You gotta be nice. Gotta be nice. Can't make no jokes that might. And it's actually part of what drove Chappelle off originally. We're told is that he saw other people repeating his jokes and thinking maybe it made it okay to rip into black people. I don't know if he actually said that. I've never actually seen him talk about it. I probably should go and watch. I'm sure he has. But yeah, you're not allowed to joke about people anymore. And go fuck yourselves. You should be able to joke about everything, literally everything. But I'm getting ever closer to my next video, guys, because this whole idea that anything that the I'm using air quotes, the right says doesn't actually exist is nonsense. Political correctness doesn't exist. Cancel culture doesn't exist. I mean, and it's been around for a long time. Reverse racism doesn't exist. And a lot of people, yeah, it's just racism. But we all know what they meant by that. They meant, nobody can be racist against whites. That's not possible. They're just trying to get rid of all of this stuff to make it so that, look, you can't even bitch about that because it's not even real. It's not even real. It's like the boogeyman. And it's getting on my last fucking nerve.
Wait. I'm still caught on you're going to do a video?
I said getting closer, Scribe. Getting closer.
Getting closer. Well, the heat death of the universe is getting closer.
As the nice folks at Blizzard would say, Scribe. Soon.
Oh, okay.
Soon.
Yeah, Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Soon.
Yes.
Anyhow, with that, guys, it's your time. Questions, comments, concerns, throw them into the chat now. Do our best to get to them. Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to pay attention. I'm really out of it right now. Monkey will end up with a 30-minute rant. Well, it's one of the reasons that I prefer streaming because I don't have to sit there and go, all right, how do I say this? I just fucking blast it out there and let the chips fall where they may. Advice for my 10-hour drive tomorrow. Stop and rest. Weibo, get out of your car once in a while, walk around. If you get tired at all, get off the road.
Yeah, there you go.
There's people like, roll your window down and turn your radio up. No, get the fuck out of your car and walk around.
Just don't do it right on the side of the road. You find a rest stop or something. Because I've heard too many times people stop on the shoulder or something and they're immediately squished by somebody coming down the road in the other direction.
Yeah. Mr. Nanopoli, Satsu, what are your thoughts on Demon Slayer getting a movie?
If that's true, I'm all for it. Because Demon Slayer is fucking awesome.
There you go. Akale says, why are your older streams unlisted? To make them easier to navigate, actually, and to keep the channel clear of just having a shit ton of black screens up there.
Yeah.
So there's the streams, I believe is the one's called, that has Lords of the Night in it, and then there's Monkey in the Morning that has the Monkey in the Morning ones in it.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I've got a playlist of just the Lords of the Night streams. The only one that I keep up is the most recent one that I've hosted, just so it doesn't clutter. Because, these days a lot more Lords of the Night streams go on in between actual videos I make.
The troll, pretending to be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, asks, why do you complain about how the media treats Trump and not how Fox News and conservatives treat me and treated Obama? Even if I agreed that Fox News treated you and Obama horribly, it is nothing compared to how Trump is tweeted or treated. We actually saw stories about how many scoops of ice cream the man eats.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. The media oftentimes will do stories about things that are legitimately troubling, embarrassing, stupid that Trump does. But when they hold Trump to some unreasonable standard that you wouldn't expect to see with just about any other politician, or under any other circumstances, that's when it's like, okay, guys, focus on the things that matter. Because I honestly, the way that the media has been operating, they have raised the public's tolerance for being outraged by Trump so high that things that he does, he gets away with now because it doesn't compare to all the hype of everything else that they've been talking about for the last 2 years, like ice cream and false conspiracies. So it's got, the media has to have some kind of restraint to make things actually matter when they matter. Otherwise, it's just noise, and that's a problem to me.
Let me give you an example here.
Damn it.
What's the matter?
I was gonna just go into that, but go ahead.
Well, if you want to, go ahead.
I was gonna compare it to like drinking alcohol. You
Mm.
drink alcohol every day, every day. You get drunk the first few times, then
Yep.
you get less drunk as time goes on. So it takes more alcohol to get drunk.
Yep.
The ice cream was like your first shot of tequila. You passed out. You died that night. Then you get shots of tequila every day. So tomorrow we could wake up, drink a bottle of tequila, see an article that says Trump stabbed somebody to death in the tower of Trump Towers, or in the lobby of Trump Tower, and most people are going to go, whatever.
Yeah. It's the boy who cried wolf. You've cried it so many times. We're like, No, here, let me give it a concrete example here. Okay. Right now, they are complaining that that President Trump may have used a foreign government, the Ukrainians, to target a potential presidential candidate.
Political rival, yeah.
Political rival.
Yes.
The Obama administration, in a routine presser from the IRS, planted a question with a journalist who knew nothing of the story she was asking about, to ask about the IRS targeting political foes. And the press was like, that's no big deal. They use the power of our own government to target political foes. And the United States press was like, they ran cover for him. They ran cover for him over it. But now, Trump may have asked a foreign government to look into something that Biden did wrong, which, by the way, apparently Jesse Waters slammed Juan Williams today. Juan Williams was bitching about this, and Jesse Waters pulled up an agreement, a treaty that we have with the Ukrainians to allow exactly what happened here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I never heard this. What's the treaty say?
That in matters of legal issues like this, that the president can ask the Ukrainians to look into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll see what comes of that. I doubt it'll be anything that we'll hear about big in the news. Oh, sorry. Scribe, will you be my waifu? Ebony wants to know.
I thought I already was.
She wants to renew vows.
Oh, does that require something in Japanese? Because I don't speak Japanese.
Just say hi
Sushi.
or not.
Oh,
Check your logic. Says, why did everybody hate Friday when songs like Forget You, Sexy and I Know It, everything, Trey songs released, and all the other garbage that came out of rap and hip hop? Because Friday was still garbage compared to all those things.
Can I play you guys like 20 seconds of audio, and I want you to guess who said it?
Sure.
okay.
I used this for my video, and I want you to guess who said this. All right.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring.
That's Obama,
Obama.
son.
Yeah,
Nope.
Obama.
Nope.
Clinton.
It
Is that
was Bill
Biden?
Clinton.
Oh,
Bill Clinton.
That was Bill Clinton in his 1995 State of the Union.
that sounds like Obama's fucking
That's
speech.
yeah. Obama has one that sounds very much like that.
Almost exactly like it.
That
You should
yeah.
look that up for your video, man.
I already rendered it too late.
Yeah, because there's several of there's compilations out there, Sinatra, where you can find. Yeah, Clinton and what they include Clinton, Bush, and Obama all saying the same goddamn things.
Yeah, and people are just like, yeah, that's right, until a couple years from now when it is wrong.
Oh, until somebody actually did something.
Yeah, we want to say it. We're not going to actually do it, though.
Jack Gunsky says, advice for my long drive tomorrow. Wank. It's fun to wank while you drive.
No.
On a deserted road. Be careful. Mash says, Lords of Night, how long before the left cancels itself? They've started in various different ways.
Yeah, they started eating their own. I mean, it's just a matter of time before the ideological purity test just becomes so ridiculously difficult to pass that not even the most faithful will be able to do it anymore.
Scribe, was it you who said the metadata or whatever you named the thumbnail in a video?
No, Monkey said that. That was
Oh.
Monkey.
Yeah.
That's
That was news to me. I didn't know that it got that granular.
Yeah, when you make your thumbnail, whatever you name it on your computer and you upload it, that is what it's saved as within or internally. You can change that on YouTube in their internal system, but it still remembers that original name. And not only does that help you in the algorithm, if you name it the wrong thing, you can get in trouble for it, even though people never see it.
Right.
That's true.
I know that you can find out the original name for some things when you download it. Like I was working on a Young Turks reply, and they name all their videos the same thing, buy TYT merch. That is what all their videos are when they upload them.
Yeah, those things matter. Yeah.
Oh, does the name of the actual video file also count?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I
Well, most of mine are just nonsense because it's just like I like shorthand and I just say Ted Exy or something, and that's it.
I've always kind of named that the name of the video. So whatever I want it uploaded as, that's what the name is.
Yeah, I've actually uploaded, realized I had the name wrong, taken it down, fixed the name because it is whatever it's uploaded as that counts.
What about if you upload it?
Mm-hmm.
If you upload it, then it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Do you guys have a video you can say you enjoyed making the most? Yes, absolutely. Well, I have two. My favorite was the Danny Quartz reply, just because I got to rip into him up and down. And then the other one was replying to the guy who got mad at me for saying that what the fuck's his name? The boring guy. Teal Deer. Got mad at me for saying Teal Deer was boring and making fun of Teal Deer. Replying to the guy who got mad at me at that was a lot of fun.
The GameStop transgender woman video thing. That is probably my favorite. Because in the video she goes, and I just kept doing it back.
The ones that I'm most are some of my earliest ones. There's two playlists on my channel. There's one called Down the Rabbit Hole, and there's one called The Temple of Boom. And I think that's a playlist, or it's included in there. Anyway, it's a series of videos where I just came across this very interesting sounding guy in some random video, and I did this little like detective work to try to figure out who he was because they never named him. And this led me into a whole other world of different things and characters and stuff. And it, the whole story's in that playlist, but I'm still proud of that one because that really felt like my first sort of investigative, not journalism per se, but just like I really got into the weeds on something and found a little trail to something I hadn't expected.
Mine's was probably the 30 questions women have for men, the BuzzFeed video from a couple years back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was, first of all, one of my most viewed videos for quite some time. And I had so much fun. That was one of those videos that I would go back and watch where I'm just like, man, I did such a fucking good job.
I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah, I was very proud of that one for a while. And it got a fuck ton of views, for back then.
Where are we at here? Lords and Sinner, have you ever had olive ice cream? No. And if somebody tried to feed that to me, I'd throw it.
Yeah. No.
Don't you want ice cream to taste good?
I don't really like ice cream, period.
What?
Wow.
Are you communist?
No, I do like it, but
I think you are.
very, very rarely. And
You're
it has to
communist.
be French vanilla.
Okay. Do you often say I surrender when things get tough?
No.
Okay.
I make French more manly just by being around it.
Well,
Okay. I'll remember
that's
that.
not hard to do with the French. Lords of the Night, have you ever eaten a kumquat? No.
No. I first learned about them, though, on an episode of Tailspin.
No, I haven't.
The AOC clone is trying to be edgy again. AOC clone, at least do your homework. Your trolling is horrendous.
Yeah, man.
It's not even close to on point. Monopoly says, Sinatra, check your Twitter. He sent you some article.
99 notifications. You might have to DM it to me on Discord.
Jack Gunsky says, I know how Donald Trump takes his steak because of the 24-hour news cycle. I shouldn't. Right?
He takes it well done, doesn't he? That makes me not want to vote for him in 2020.
Lords of the Night, what do you think about mini AOC using Greta as a reason to come back? I do not support using children to push political agendas.
Yeah.
It's a no for me, dog.
I get it. She's cute and it's funny, but no. Get a midget to do it if that's what you want. Ginger Power says, Monkey, thoughts on Tropico 6? Great game. Probably not, it's not the best Tropico, but it is a very pretty game and it's a lot of fun.
I've been playing Remnant from the Ashes recently. If you're kind of into those Dark Soul type games, definitely try it out.
Yeah, I was looking at it. It looks interesting. In that.
It is. It's really fun.
Some Antifa person's asking if single-payer healthcare is so bad, then why does Canada rank better in healthcare and spend less on it per capita? Define how the healthcare is ranked.
Not only that, ask a person who has to fucking wait to see a doctor if they enjoy it.
Yeah.
I actually got in an argument with somebody over that. They're like, show me where it says that. Do you know what the average wait for a specialist is in Canada right now? It's like 19 weeks for cancer patients. 19 weeks. You know how long? I had my surgery quicker than that, and that was just for a bruised spine.
I got to see a neurology specialist in a day.
It's all right, man. Single payer, it's where it's at, as long as you don't have anything too wrong with you.
As long as you don't have anything remotely complicated.
Yeah, you're not gonna die in like the next couple weeks. Then you might be okay.
Being a doctor is supposed to be easy.
Yeah. And look, I have no problem with people being able to see doctors. That's great. But you guys have to look at the bad part of it too. This is the exact same thing we ran into when I was a Navy brat. You know what we had when I was a Navy brat? Government health care. Because the government took care of health care for the military. I don't know what they do now. This was Champus at the time. Took me 6 months to get in to see a neurologist because I was having horrible headaches that were causing me to throw up all the time. And I got to see him every 6 months if I was lucky.
Well, yeah. A lot of people seem to think that because we're not super open or just like we need to change our entire system and switch it to this one, that we love the system that we have. And I'm just like, no, I don't particularly like the one we have either, but this is the one that we have. and it's the one that's working for us at the moment. So if we're going to go through the process of overhauling and changing literally everything, we want to make sure that we won't be worse off than we already are. Like that. What I don't understand what the problem is with that.
I am way behind on questions. I am so sorry, guys. My chat just jumped, and I just got to see how far behind I am.
We will never have single payer healthcare in this country as long as we have 30 million illegal people living here. It is just impossible to maintain.
I think we will. I think we'll have it sooner rather than later. I don't think it'll come this election, but certainly with it. Obamacare was set up to fail, and if you don't believe that, you haven't read it. I mean, it was written badly.
Poorly.
Written badly and pushed by a man who had been on stage saying, "I support single payer health care."
You did it too.
And then denied saying it for his entire campaign.
You can keep your doctor.
No, they have him on video from before the 2008 election saying, "I support single payer health care." And then they ask him about it. I never said that. Like, bitch, that's you. And you know what? All of his fans said, he never said that. Like, it's on video. But yeah, I honestly believe, much like how Marxists see socialism as a step to communism, I think Obamacare was a step to single payer. I believe that 100%.
And how many people got fucked over because of that?
Millions. I was thinking of starting my own streams about the Constitution and economics. What are your suggestions? Know your subject and keep it interesting.
Who said that?
Yeah. Know what you're talking about, and more importantly, just do it. A lot of people are just like, I've been thinking about. Stop thinking about it and just do it.
Yeah, Nike, yo, Nike.
Yeah. So many people I talk to is, I've been thinking about doing this, but what? That's your problem. You're still thinking about it.
There's a lot of people who are like in our viewership, like people we know that do their own content. And some of it's really engaging and really interesting. And some of it, Toasted Network, is dog shit. Jack Gunsky, it's not interesting.
Oh,
Kidding, Jack. I'm just kidding with you, Jack.
Oh,
Toasted, get a better mic for real. Fucking terrible.
Damn it. Chat has jumped again. Guys, I'm scrolling up a little bit. I will do my best to get everything, but man, you guys have been talking a lot. Let's see. Where are we here? Will you have
There's a bunch of oops in the chat.
when will you have Pimp Master Bruda on a stream someday?
who
I have no idea who that is.
the fuck is that?
Satsu, how's Squish and the baby?
Squish and the baby are good. As I said, Squeetus has discovered that she has a different expression other than pure hatred and utter confusion. So she's been giving me some big old smiles as of late.
Aw.
And I melt every time.
Oh.
It's too much, man. It's too much. Especially in response to something, because she smiles a lot in her sleep or whatever. But like when I call her name or I say hello to her and she just gives me that smile, I'm just like, man, this is what Monkey warned me about.
Told you.
Oh yeah, they'll break your heart with just the curl of a lip.
Oh, man.
Man, I tell you, when it's your kid, man, there's just something different.
Yeah.
No matter how involved you are with any others. I mean, when it's your flesh and blood, you're like, I will give you the world. How do you want it served?
Apparently, Sarah Jong is leaving the New York Times.
Kind of.
Yes.
The editorial board.
She's leaving the editorial board. She's staying on as a
Contractor.
contracted contributor, I believe is the words that they used. So yeah, she's lost her paid salary position, which I guarantee you was well paid.
It was probably a pretty check.
Yeah.
So we can expect a lot of opinion pieces coming from her.
Damn white people. Can I address something in the chat real quick?
Please do.
Sean Uli says, "What if I don't have equipment? This nursing home internet sucks. Don't do it. Not now."
Yeah, wait.
Yeah. Don't spend any money or waste your time on it. I mean, you could use offline. You can start practicing like recording yourself or just editing stuff. But yeah, don't start trying to post or stream or anything until you have decent internet.
Yeah, practice writing out scripts and stuff too. Like if
Yes.
you're going to do it, script it.
If you write scripts.
Yeah, if you write scripts, if you do timestamps on stuff and figure out when to make your breaks in the video and everything, practice that because that's always and will be very valuable going forward.
Oh yeah.
So when you're ready, you can just pull the trigger.
Mr. Nanopoli says, you've never heard of Pimp Master Yoda on Twitter?
Yes,
No. So I went over here and looked. He's got 46,000 followers. Do you know how many people with 46,000 followers that I don't follow?
Yeah.
Most.
Yeah, most.
I got an interesting follow today. It actually sent a notification to my phone. Tiana McGrath. That.
Oh, really?
Today.
That's funny.
I was like, oh shit! Look, I'm famous. Mom,
Yeah.
get the camera.
I cannot tell you how many times I get tweets from Tatiana or Titiana, I think is how it said. Like, Monkey, you won't believe what they're saying. Like, guys, calm down. It's a Poe.
Yeah.
And it would be different if we haven't already gotten to the place where McGrath hasn't already been written about in major publications. It's a guy who writes that. That's not a guess. That's actually, I mean, it's well known.
There's one that got me. It's another guy. Jarvis DuPont. They got me once.
Jarvis DuPont.
Oh, there's a lot of them that can get you, but Titiana's been around for so long.
It is, dude, and he does it so well.
Yeah,
because it's right on that edge of. I could see someone thinking that.
Thoughts on Code Vein?
I know my gamer friend, the one who hooks me up all the time, Delta. He loves it.
It looks fucking amazing, and I want it so bad, but I'm just not in a position to spend that kind of money on a game that I'm not certain I want. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, oh man, it looks so good, but if I get it and I don't like it, I'm not getting that money back, and I can't afford to drop that much money on something that I'm not sure about.
Yeah, he loves it. So if that's your thing, definitely check it out.
It definitely looks all the fucking way up my alley.
Getting a new GP is almost a year wait at this point, depending on your province. Go Canada!
Woo!
Scribe, can you prove you're not Polly by doing your best Polly voice?
Can I prove I'm not Polly by imitating Polly?
That was the question.
Okay, let me try.
I steal Sinatra's gimmick.
Did that work for everybody?
Yes, that was well done.
Okay.
Okay, this
is what I call teamwork there. Fist bump, yo.
This is the second
I saw an opportunity and I hit it.
And it was perfect. Well, by the way, guys, that was totally me talking, not Sinatra. That wasn't. Yeah.
This is the second time I've seen this, and I'm not exactly sure what you're getting at. But Atheist Icon, why would Monkey or Snoot advocate for military-style healthcare? Who did?
Yeah, I don't think
What is military-style healthcare?
I feel like you may have missed the fucking point.
Yeah. Monkey was not praising military-style healthcare, in fact.
I blame it for my mother's death. How about that?
Yeah, does that help?
my cousin works for the VA. He's like one of the heads of the big hospitals. And even he goes, this is not great.
It's not. They have a shortage of doctors, way too many patients, not enough money coming in to get everything done. And what you have is politicians going, well, we told them to do it. I don't want to get off on that because we only have 2 minutes left. I'll rant for you some other time if you like.
When I get my shit all straightened out, because some stuff has happened in this Snoot household, which is very, very expensive. It is going to be. I'll talk about it more Tuesday. But when that stuff all gets taken care of, I want to do charity stream for the VA because, we've done it for St. Jude's. We've done it for Voices of September 11th. I feel like they're the next one who deserves it.
Isn't Canada the place that just made a guy choose assisted suicide because they wouldn't cover in-home health care he needed? Yes, it is. We covered that story a couple weeks ago.
You know what? It's really weird that I always hear people from America tell me how much better Canada's stuff is, but I never hear anybody from Canada tell me that.
Well, like you take the NHS over in England. There are people who like it, but if they're being honest, they'll also tell you how much problems there are. The problem comes in when you have anybody saying this system is perfect. No system is perfect.
Yeah.
Lamented Guide, thank you so much. Speaking of VA, I've worked on their crappy equipment. That's right, you work on medical equipment, don't you? I'm not surprised. It's probably the stuff that they found left over in the eagle's nest. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. Thank you for your donations, and please don't forget you can do this even later if you're not watching live. There's a link below to support Bloodwing's. I was going to say dog. That's not it.
Oh shit!
Fuck.
Oh,
Water. I'm sick, you guys. And please consider supporting Bloodwing
child
during this horrible time for the family.
Yeah.
I would like to thank Sinatra for coming and hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me.
And Scribe, I almost called you Sinatra. Fuck me.
Oh, well, let me do my best Sinatra impression for you.
You're welcome.
There you go.
That was pretty good.
I know.
I would like to thank Scribe and Satsu for joining me as always. Guys, remember, there's no Lords of the Night tomorrow. We'll be back Monday on Satsu 2 Senses channel, 9 p.m. Eastern time for another Lords. But you can catch us right after this. Me and Satsu over playing some more Borderlands 3 on 2 Cents Plus. Please come join us. It's a lot of fun. And we hope to see you there. So, everybody, your lives make us sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Later.